What truly holds power in a relationship? Is it your words, your actions, or your silence? What happens when you stop seeking validation and start honoring your own peace instead? And how does it feel for them to realize you've stopped caring? Have you ever truly stopped to question where real power lies in a relationship? Is it in what you say, what you do, or is it something far deeper, like the focus and attention you choose to give? What if everything begins to shift the moment you reclaim that attention, detach from the need to be understood, and place your inner peace above anything else? What do they feel when it dawns on them that you don't care anymore? Let's be clear, this isn't about manipulation. It's not about playing games or trying to make someone chase you. It's about self-control, self-respect, and emotional mastery. The exact traits that Stoic philosophers held above all. As Marcus Aurelius once said, you have power over your mind, not external events.
Realize this and you will find strength. Today we're diving deep into the psychology of detachment and the unexpected reaction that unfolds when someone who once had your full attention suddenly realizes they've lost it. This shift is
not just a revelation for them, it's a profound awakening for you. But here's the truth. This isn't just about love or relationships. It's about learning to master yourself in a world that constantly pulls you in every direction, with distractions, desires, and emotional chaos. If you've ever found yourself struggling to keep your power or losing your center because you cared too much, then this video is made for you. If this message hits home, go to the comments right now and type, "My peace is my power." Let's set the tone for growth, presence, and emotional discipline. Number 1. The nature of interest. Interest is the currency of attention in any relationship. Romantic or otherwise, the person who controls their attention controls the dynamic. When you lose interest in someone, you're not just stepping back from them, you're stepping forward into your own power. That shift may feel subtle at first, but the impact is seismic. Not just for them, but for you. It's a signal that you've reclaimed something priceless. Your time, your energy, and your peace of mind. The world teaches us to chase, to prove ourselves, to pour our attention into people or things that often never reciprocate. But the Stoics, they teach the opposite. As Epictetus once said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. And that doesn't just apply to money, it applies to your emotional life too. When you stop chasing, you break the chains
of desire that kept you hooked on someone else's validation. You're no longer begging to be seen.
And in that moment, you set yourself free. And that freedom, they feel it. Because when you lose interest, you create a void, a vacuum where your attention used to live. And here's the truth. People feel your absence more than your presence. Suddenly, she starts to wonder, what changed? Why don't I have his focus anymore? Why does being ignored suddenly sting? From that void, curiosity is born, then intrigue, and often longing. But here's the deeper layer. Losing interest isn't about making someone miss you, it's about prioritizing yourself, your growth, your healing, your peace. When you stop giving everything to someone else, you redirect that power inward and begin to build something that no one can take from you, your self-worth. Losing interest doesn't make you less, it makes you more. More calm, more grounded, more unshakable. This isn't rejection, it's not resentment. It's liberation, it's you stepping back into your lane and realizing your energy is sacred, and not everyone is worthy of receiving it. If this principle of self-mastery resonates with you, take a second to comment below. I control what deserves my energy, because your energy isn't limitless. and anyone who receives it must earn it. So what happens next? When a woman realizes your interest is gone, let's explore the initial shock that unfolds and how it shifts the power dynamic in ways she never expected. When you withdraw your interest, not to manipulate, but to focus inward, what happens next is powerful. She feels your absence, and something unexpected begins. Number 3, the chase. Begins when you stop chasing, something powerful shifts, the roles reverse. What was once taken for granted is now out of reach. In the silence, in your steady detachment, she starts to feel the void, not because you said anything, but because your attention, your presence, is no longer there. That absence triggers something primal. The chase begins. At first, she might pretend it doesn't affect her, but deep down, the loss of your energy starts gnawing at her. She begins to wonder, why isn't he reaching out? Did I misread him? Have I lost him for good? These questions create curiosity. That curiosity turns into longing, and as the longing grows, so does her effort to get back what she fears she lost. But here's where your Stoic mindset gives you the upper hand. You remain still. You don't treat her pursuit as an opportunity to prove your worth, because you've already found it within. You embody the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events.
Realize this and you will find strength. Her chasing isn't your validation. It's just proof that something shifted because you shifted. You've stepped away from the old game. You're no longer seeking approval to feel worthy. You've elevated into emotional independence. This doesn't make you cold. It makes you confident. You don't need to chase to feel enough because your worth was never theirs to give. And that stillness, that quiet, grounded confidence,
it's magnetic. If this resonates with you, drop this phrase in the comments. Still waters run deep. Let's remind ourselves that true power doesn't shout. It stands calmly, unshaken. But what happens when she starts testing your resolve? That's what we're diving into in the next part. When she tries to pull you back in. When you stop chasing and instead begin radiating quiet strength, a new dynamic takes shape. One where your silence echoes louder than words. 6. Emotional reflection. She's now facing herself. What most people underestimate is this. When you lose interest, you force her to face herself. Your absence doesn't just remove you from her world. It creates a space, a vacuum where there's nothing left but her own reflection. At first, she might feel irritated, confused, or even defiant. Why did he pull away? What changed? Did I mess up? But as time passes, the surface emotions begin to fade. What takes their place is something deeper. Self-reflection. She starts to wonder, was she too complacent? Did she take your attention for granted? Was she too self-focused to see what she was losing? From a dark psychology standpoint, scarcity breeds value, and your withdrawal sends a clear signal. I am not dependent on you, my energy is not unlimited. This makes her reevaluate everything, and in that reevaluation, your presence grows, stronger, even in your absence. But remember, this isn't about getting her back, it's about getting yourself back. Her emotional reflection is her journey, not yours. You didn't walk away to provoke a reaction. You walked away to protect your peace, and that is where your real power lies. This process aligns perfectly with the Stoic principle. Focus only on what you can control. Her thoughts, her feelings, her reaction, that's not yours to manage. What you own is your composure, your focus, and your self-respect. If this speaks to you, drop this in the comments. I am the prize, not a backup plan. 7. The power of emotional independence. There's a rare kind of strength that few men ever tap into. Emotional independence. When you stop needing outside validation, you become unshakable. Not because you've isolated yourself, but because you've built something inside yourself that no one else can destroy. As Seneca said, "A wise man is content with what he has, no matter how little." This doesn't mean you reject love. It means you approach relationships from fullness, not lack. You no longer seek someone to complete you because there is nothing missing. And when she sees that, everything changes. Suddenly you're no longer the predictable one. You're no longer someone she can emotionally sway. You've become a man of depth, discipline, and quiet strength. You don't command respect by force. You command it with composure. This is not about creating emotional distance to manipulate. It's about aligning with the truth that your joy doesn't depend on anyone else. You've embraced the fact that the only thing you truly control is how you respond. If you're walking this path, comment below, "I thrive in my independence." But why is emotional detachment so essential? Let's explore that truth next, when we uncover why letting go gives you back your true self. 8. Why you must stay detached. Staying emotionally detached doesn't mean you're cold or distant. It means you've taken full control of your inner world. When you choose detachment, you're making a bold statement. My happiness, my peace, and my mission are not tied to anyone else. That's freedom. Most people live tethered to the emotions of others. They let words, silences, and behaviors dictate how they feel, but not you. You've learned how to stop reacting emotionally and start responding with clarity. Her actions, her provocations, even her silence, they no longer trigger you. You observe, you stay grounded, you stay calm, and that alone commands respect. But here's the truth. Detachment doesn't mean pushing love away. It means you enter relationships from wholeness, not emptiness. You're not desperate to hold on. You don't need to cling, because everything you need is already within you. This mindset not only makes you more attractive, it makes you powerful, fulfilled, unbothered. But remember, detachment isn't a one-time decision. It's a mindset you cultivate daily. When you stay focused on your mission, your peace, your growth, you'll naturally let go of anything that doesn't align with your purpose. If this resonates with you, drop a comment. I am my best investment. 9. Why detachment attracts respect. When you live detached, you begin to attract something deeper than attention. You attract respect. You don't chase, you don't cling, and you certainly don't need anyone to validate your worth. That kind of inner independence is rare, and anything rare commands admiration. You've built a world so rich inside that you don't need anyone to complete you. Your relationships become choices, not crutches. And here's where it gets even more powerful. Detachment sets boundaries. It communicates clearly. I will not tolerate what disrupts my peace or my purpose. These boundaries don't push people away. They attract the right people closer. Those who respect you will be drawn in. Those who used to take advantage of you, they'll quietly disappear. But most importantly, respect begins from within. When you practice detachment, you teach yourself to value your time, your energy, your emotions. You don't let others define your day because you've defined your own standards. Attention fades, but respect lasts. And respect born from composure, boundaries, and clarity. That's the kind that stays. If this resonates, comment, respect flows from self-respect. 10. The Stoic approach to relationships, losing. Interest isn't a tactic. It's not about winning. It's about reclaiming your inner power. You stop relying on texts, responses, likes, or validation, and you start anchoring into something greater: freedom. The Stoic approach is simple. Focus only on what you can control. You can't control how someone feels about you or whether they value your presence, but you can always control your energy, your boundaries, your reactions. You still care. You still love. But you don't lose yourself in the process. And when she realizes you've truly detached, that you're not chasing, not proving, not begging, it's not just the relationship that shifts. It's how you see yourself. You've built your life on discipline, self-respect, and calm. And that makes you unstoppable. Remember, detachment isn't the absence of love. It's the presence of wisdom. Wisdom rooted in self-control is what allows you to thrive. No matter who comes or goes, if this speaks to you, comment below. I am in control of my destiny. And now let's go deeper into how this internal shift leads to the greatest transformation of all. 11. Detachment leads to transformation. When you embrace detachment fully, something powerful begins to unfold. You don't just let go of someone else. You evolve into someone new. This isn't about winning a breakup. It's about winning yourself back, piece by piece. You're no longer defined by their absence. You're defined by your progress, by the way you show up for yourself when no one's watching. Remember those quiet nights when the urge to reach out crept in? When you wanted to explain, to clarify, to be understood, but instead, you stayed silent. You stayed grounded. And in that silence, something unshakable grew: discipline, direction, depth. You've turned your back, not just on the drama, but on the version of yourself that needed someone to see your worth. That version is gone. In its place stands a man who doesn't just walk away. He walks forward, and here's the twist. The more detached you become, the more magnetic you become. Not
because you're cold,
but because you are clear. People feel it. The difference in your voice, the way you carry yourself, the fact that you no longer need their recognition to feel whole. This is the comeback that doesn't need to be posted. This is the glow-up that doesn't need an audience. It's internal, it's permanent, it's real. If this resonates, comment below. My transformation is silent but powerful.